Hey y'all, how you doing tonight? We have a very special guest tonight, Matt Wally. He's a coach. He's got a FedEx job that he's going to give up when he gets more successful with his coaching. And that's what we're going to do. And Matt's got a special topic to talk about tonight. But let me introduce my co-host, David Smith.
Well, I'm interested in knowing the topic. What topic are we talking about today?
Matt?
Well, we are talking about all things having to do with your life and your money.
Ooh, that's a deep subject,
Alrighty.
man.
So, speaking of
Cue the
all
song.
things that talk about money, does that mean that brand new car I just bought, I leased it?
Absolutely.
How leasing is such a great idea?
Oh, absolutely. Why not? Have you only, after all, YOLO, right?
Of course, I did not lease a car. I was just being facetious.
Same.
That is one of the worst ways to do a car. Once you do a lease, it's hard to get out.
Yeah. I know a lot of salespeople who do that for the tax benefit. I never understood it.
I never have either. I've had even relatives and friends tell me the same thing. I can't figure out how that works.
I'll tell you how it
I
works.
don't either.
I will tell you how you play the game. If you don't drive many miles, okay, the car
Mhm.
never breaks down, so I mean, you don't have to worry about that part. But I mean, they take care of all your repairs, but you got a brand new car, so you never have to worry about that anyhow. Everything's always under warranty. And as long as you don't drive many miles, it's okay. So this has to be like your second car, or if you don't drive much, but it's your show car. It's the one, hey, look at me, everybody, look at how fancy I am. And basically, at the end of the lease, you're going to end up paying the whole car worth anyhow. That's why they're garbage. However, if you get another lease, you don't have to make the full payment. Everything rolls into the next one. So as long as you roll it, all you're doing is paying a smaller monthly payment than what you would if you financed it. Because if you're financing it, you're actually paying for the whole car. But if you're leasing it, you pay less, and then at the end, you still pay for the whole car. But if you get another lease, you won't have to pay for it because they just roll it over, and then you still pay that small payment, is what they tell you. But in the truth and the honesty, when you finally get rid of your lease, all the rollovers, you're going to have to pay all that. So, depending on how many years you've been in a lease, it's harder and harder and harder to get out. But
Yep.
they make it sound really nice because the salesmen make the most money in a lease. They lock you in because good luck getting out. When you finance a car, you can go to any place and get another car. But when you're leasing it, you have to go back to that dealer
Mhm.
in order to buy out that car. Otherwise, you're going into another place, you have to pay that one off before you can start the new lease.
I'll stick with my paid off RAV4.
So you're stuck with that one dealership. That's why dealerships love it, salesmen love it. It's a win win
Mhm.
situation for
Sure.
them, not for you.
No, absolutely.
Mhm.
So thankfully, I've never been caught in that trap.
No, and then I mean, again, David, I appreciate that, but unfortunately, there are a lot of Americans who have. I mean, when I just recently looked up the average car payment. I think it was according to Experian Automotive, and they're saying it's right now right around 700 a month, if we're just slightly north of
Yeah.
that.
It depends if
Yeah.
it's a car or a truck, it depends on the amount. But yeah, you're right. You know,
Yeah.
And the term on that I think is 84 months.
hmm
you know,
Yeah. You're gonna be able to get a 30-year mortgage on it pretty soon.
Yeah,
some places already will do it for you.
Yeah.
Your loan will last longer than your car will.
yeah.
Right.
Well, and think about it this way. All of that money, let's say you bought a $26,000 car, brand new, and then your payment is right around 500 a month.
hmm
And let's say it lasts for about so 7 years. So at the end of that 7 years, you'll have spent roughly right around $36,000 for that car. And how much do you think that car is going to be worth after 7 years? Probably right around six.
Yeah.
So the difference, and 35 minus 26 is what? 9,000. So just the difference there is more than the value of the car once you've paid it off. And
Crazy.
then let's think about this. You pay once you've paid off that car, are you still going to want to enjoy that car anymore? Or are you going to be tired of it and want to get another one?
Yeah, there are some people who change cars like I change socks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like really. I told my girls, this Rav that I had, it's probably going to be the last car I have. It's a
Yeah.
2015. I love it. Her name is Pearl, and I love her. And I said, it's probably going to be the last car I have. And the girls are like, Mom, don't say that. I'm like, I work from home, and most of the time I get my groceries delivered. So there's not a whole lot of driving. So why would I have to get a different car?
And like you were saying, those people, I was one of those people, right? I used to
Mm,
do Uber, Lyft.
Mhm.
I did a lot of different things. I worked out of my car. I mean, it was big. I was making big money. And I would get a brand new car, and I'm talking brand new car every single year,
mm-hmm.
sometimes
Yeah.
twice a year. Matter of fact, in 2020, I got three brand new cars.
Wow.
Now, to be honest with you, 2020 was the last year. Matter of fact, I met a guy that changed my life, and he said I have too much of a car. And now I had just bought a brand new showroom car. Literally drove it out of the showroom. Now you know the
Mm.
showroom cars are
Wow.
even the more expensive ones. That's the
Yeah,
top of the top.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
got one of those cars, and it drove by itself. So I had to drive 70 miles one way to and from work. And sometimes I'd be tired, so I wanted a car that would get me home safely. And this would actually get me to my exit, and then it would stop because it doesn't see lines, so it doesn't know how to get me home. It doesn't know how to drive in the
Mhm.
country. So I would only have to drive about 15 miles, but the rest of it would drive by itself.
Wow.
And I met this guy that changed my life, and he said I got too much of a car. I says I need a dependable car. He says you can drive a hoopty. I was like, I drive too far. I need a good, dependable car. I didn't listen to him. I kept that car. And
Mhm.
then eventually, about a year later, less than a year, I was like, you know what? I need to get rid of this car. He says, you better not buy another new car. I says, okay. So then I
Okay.
went to a 10-year-old car. I still have the same car that I got back then, a
Wow.
2013. Now I will get one more car because I need more legroom. So I have a Honda Civic now, and I'm going to go up to a Honda CRV. But I
Mhm.
don't
Okay.
need brand new no more.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, unlike you, Mary, I am going to get one more car, and that might be my last car forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I don't drive her that much, so she's kind of a garage queen.
hmm And when you buy them all the time, dealerships love you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
All right.
I am great money for them, and I had to get my car in before 100,000 miles. That's why I always did a year, or sometimes two or three cars a year,
Mhm.
because at 90,000 I was trading it in,
Mm-hmm.
so I still had most of the value. Now, when I say most of the value, I'll tell you, I sold it back to the dealership. It paid off the remaining of my loan, and then I would start fresh with the new car.
So
So I
fresh,
was
yeah.
never
Yep.
really ahead, but I never
Mm-hmm.
lost because I always took it back before I lost too much money. Because once you hit 100,000, you lose
Right.
a lot of money,
Oh yeah.
but you're always losing in that game. Now I was
Mm-hmm.
paying anywhere from $300 to $400 a month in car payments. Now it's nice to make those payments to yourself.
Yep.
So instead of paying interest, you can earn interest.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I love how he used to be a Ramsey personality, but Chris Hogan, he said
God
it
bless
this
him.
way, and it's stuck with me ever since. Interest paid is a penalty.
Mhm.
Interest earned is a reward.
Yeah. And speaking of Chris Hogan, I love when he spoke with authority. I mean,
Mhm.
he spoke, yes, sir. You
Oh
listen.
yeah.
That man could read the dictionary and I
I
could listen to him.
Oh, I have a funny story. Now I'm 6'2", yes, but I have a very thin frame. You can't see me from the neck down, but I only weigh 150 pounds.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm very skinny. And so I was at a book signing of his back in 2016 when he was coming out with the book Retire Inspired.
mm,
And
great
and
book.
so I went up to him and to shake his hand. He actually was complaining because I squeezed his hand too hard. And I'm sitting there thinking, you're a former linebacker in football. Your hand is probably bigger than my foot, and yet you're complaining to me because I squeezed your hand too.
Little
But no,
flower.
well, yeah, but no, I mean, I know I didn't say that, but no, he really was a great guy, and yeah, he actually helped me out with a question one time when I was asking actually about buying a house.
Mhm.
He said that the reason you buy a house, I mean, yes, you want to make sure it's a place you can call home,
Sure.
but but also setting yourself up for it, making sure that you've got a good size down payment and you have an emergency fund first because things are going to happen in that home.
Right.
But you're buying it because you know you're going to sell it again. And he said it this way, you buy a house to sell a house because it's going to appreciate in value. There's no such thing in this generation as a forever home.
Mm-mm.
Well, it says that you usually buy one to go to the next bigger to the next bigger. Usually your fifth or sixth house is like your house, because you have
Yeah.
to get the money to build up to that,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Well, and now it is interesting because my family background, it's weird when to me when you say that. Uh now I'm not saying that there aren't families that are used to that, but I remember my grandfather back in the 60s, he only had one house up in Michigan that he bought. Now this is back in the 50s. He bought it for $5,000 and just built onto it over the 60 years that he lived in that house. And I kind of miss those days a little bit, um but back in that generation, that's what you did. And of course, now it's like, yeah, well, we may do some home projects, but it's like, 10 years pass and then we're moving on to another house. Just kind of like you said, you're graduating, you're just kind of moving up in house now.
If you get a house back then, you get bigger property. You can actually
Mhm.
build onto it. Like nowadays, you can't build on because you don't have no property.
Right.
No. And with all these HOAs that are around now, I mean, yeah, good luck trying to get, trying to build on, with all of their regulations.
Hmm.
No kidding.
You know, so that is the way to go. Is just and they were built more solid back then.
Mm.
Now they're just put
Oh,
together.
abs-
Back in the day, what
Well,
did it take? A year, 2 years to build a house. Now they can put a house together in 2 months, and sometimes
Mhm.
even
mhm.
less.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, and it's interesting, the average square footage back then, or even when I was growing up in the 90s, was around 1,300 square feet. Now we've doubled. It's about 2,600, 2,700 square feet, the average house now.
Mhm.
Hmm.
We have more room, but we're more disconnected
Hmm.
Yep.
because we used to basically all live on top of each other. And so there was a lot of interaction. And now there's a lot of non interaction because the houses have gotten so big, everybody's got their corners.
Yeah. Well, and one thing also about that generation as well is there weren't as many college graduates as there
Mm,
are now.
right.
I mean, good night. It seems like everybody goes to college.
Yeah.
Now, and this is actually kind of the big thing that I speak on in personal finance because I made this mistake. But um, but again, everybody out of high school is just the only thing on their mind when they're, junior, especially their junior, senior year, is just college, 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 college,
Mhm.
college. That's the only thing that's really just kind of flowing through their head. And then they venture out into into college world, into college life, and most likely they're going to expense it on student loans, which really they're not expensing the education, they're expensing the lifestyle.
True.
But but um but they go there and they study something, then they change their major, and then they change their major, they think, okay, I'll try this one. Oh man, I don't really like this as much, so I'm going to try this instead. Meanwhile, then they come out of school now well, the average I think is right around $40,000 worth of student loan debt. I i was kind of right around average when I came out back in 2012 with around 35.
Yeah.
But um but yeah, I majored in something because I originally was training to be a musician. I wanted to be a
Mhm.
professional opera singer and travel the world, gracing stages of the world. And the interesting thing, the thing there was, I didn't really have, I didn't create a windfall for myself. I was just so busy enjoying music that I wasn't, I wasn't thinking horizontally. I was just kind of so living for the, kind of, enjoying the moment, but that I wasn't thinking about, okay, what am I going to do, once I get out? And so but I met my wife in college, and, we got married about, let's see, about a month after I graduated. And then I just thankfully was able to find a job, where I was able to transition to from out of college. And and so I was working in that warehouse for about 3 years, and my wife and I combined had $50,000 worth of student loans. And I worked in that warehouse for 3 years. My wife worked in a bakery for about a year uh, till she had our son, our one and only pride and joy. So such a blessing to us. And we just got really aggressive with that and just paid it off, because if there's one thing that Mary and I have been just united on from the start, is that debt is not going to be the way that we act financially.
Nice.
And so regardless of how tight things are, regardless of how stressful life is, we're not going to put anything on payments.
Yeah.
And
That's beautiful.
and thank God, we haven't, it's been that way to this day. And like I said, that 3 years we paid everything off, and we don't owe anybody anything anymore.
That's a beautiful feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, like I said, I may not be where I want to be right now, but I'm just thankful I'm not back there again.
Right.
Yeah.
Amen. I was caught in that student loan trap too myself,
Mm,
working a second job to try to pay it off. And it doesn't matter how much you pay. I wasn't making enough to make a dent in it.
Mhm.
yep.
Since their interest accrues daily and you can never catch up. And luckily, when my mom passed, she left me a little inheritance, and that paid off the student loan.
Mm,
So that was the big thing, and we still had some left. And we kind of use that for when we want to do something. Then we call it our emergency fund.
mm, yep.
So when we need to use something, we pay with that, and then we pay that back.
Oh yeah.
So we never touch the main emergency fund, but when we got something going on, we use the emergency fund.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Yep.
Well, and
And
go ahead.
that's how kind of how Mary and I are. We have an emergency fund, but we don't. Neither one of us like touching it.
Nope.
I mean, we'll work. I'll work an extra day of the week. Mary will find an extra shift somewhere, but we'll do whatever But if we don't have to touch it, no,
Right.
we
Yeah.
won't. No. And now I understand why Dave Ramsey says there's a peace just knowing that money is just there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
and you don't have to just, oh, it's there, and I don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes it an inconvenience instead of a catastrophe. Oh my gosh, what am I
Right.
going to do?
Right.
Hmm.
Now, unlike you guys, I was blessed not to have a student loan. Um, I had other programs that was able to get me through college without through the federal government, so I didn't have Sally Mae. But I still had over $300,000 when I started tackling my avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know, but it was all stupidness. We all had stupid in our life, right? I had tons of it.
Oh,
A
I've
lot.
paid. Oh, I've definitely paid my fair share, or more than
Mm-hmm.
that. uh, but it's interesting. And if I were to talk to a parent today of a teenager, that's what I would tell them. Let them make that mistake now. Let them do it now while they're under your umbrella, while they're under your roof, because then you can help them work through that.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's the thing, and I'm sure you both have seen this, where you'll get these people that come in, saying that they've got all these this mountain of debt, and then you ask them about just kind of going back to what life was like growing up. And one thing I'll hear is that my mom wouldn't let me do this with my money. My dad wouldn't let me spend this over here. And I'm like, and I just go, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Because you weren't allowed to make that mistake. You didn't feel it didn't connect to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you didn't know that how bad of an idea that was until you got out on your own. And then it's like freedom. And it's like, okay, I can do whatever I want. Okay, let me buy this brand new car over here. Let me, finance this here, this here, this here, this here. And the next thing you know, you don't realize how hard it is to get out of a
Mm-hmm.
furniture payment of 90 days, same as cash.
Yes.
Oh,
Love those
Yes.
and
same
then
as
when you do,
cash.
yeah, and when you do try to pay it off early, yeah, they still try to find ways to
Mm-hmm.
loophole you into the end of that deal.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
same as cash if you pay off here. If you don't, we charge you interest for everything. What?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're going to get our money no matter what.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and more than not, they're going to charge you everything plus, and they charge
Mm-hmm.
you a high interest.
Oh,
But
yeah.
don't worry, it's only same as cash for
Yeah.
90 days.
Oh yeah.
You
And
know,
so many people don't pay it off in the 90 days. I've done that, but I've paid it off in the 90 days,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But that was me, when I was single, I was the single mom, mortgage, car payment, student loan payment, 401k loan, so many credit cards. There was at least one payment due every week.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucked.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
the funny thing is, even when you pay same as cash,
Mm.
you're still paying more
Oh, yes,
than
absolutely.
if you would have bought it from the store.
Mm.
A lot of times they sell the market item for double the price. So even if you pay it off before the 90 days, they still make double profit off of regular retail.
Yeah,
Then,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, then they also get to hit you with all the interest.
Oh yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
They're just they're
Oh,
just
very
trying to
much.
help.
of course,
Yeah.
help their pockets.
They're trying to help you
Pay
get
them.
the stuff. No, David, you're looking at that totally wrong. They're trying to help you get the stuff
Yeah.
that half the time we don't need.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. I mean, after all, just take a sit on this couch. You like how that leather feels? Or even the car salesman. I'll go back to that for a second. Just sit in the car here. Just sniff the new car smell.
Yeah.
That's that's why I just and my wife does a good job of keeping me from this because I'm the free spirit in the relationship. She's the nerd, and yet look what I do for a living. But no, but I sometimes get tempted to want to walk into a furniture store just to browse, or walk to a car dealership just to browse. But I know as soon as I do, those people will rope me into a deal faster than I can blend them.
Oh,
Nope,
absolutely.
One of the
nope.
worst things. Doesn't this car feel nice?
Mm,
Don't worry, take it home. Drive it around
Yes.
for a couple days.
Yeah.
You
mhm,
know, and then I even had one. Um, drove around, real nice. Okay, this is a good car. Oh, by the way, you didn't qualify for that one. We'll have to put you into a different one. Bait and switch.
Mhm.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because that was a good one, and then they put you into one that's crap that they can't sell, but they've already
Yeah,
got you,
Oh yeah.
or
Yep.
you have to come up with an extra $3,000 before tomorrow, otherwise you have to turn that car
right.
in.
Yep.
The old bait and switch.
Oh yeah.
We
Mm-hmm.
got this flyer in the mail the other day, and it was pull the tab, and whatever number appeared on it, that's what you won. And so my daughter pulls the tab, and it matched up to $2,500.
Mm.
And so she goes, Mom, you need to go with me because it's in your name. And I made the appointment. I'm like, okay. So we run over there, and the guy goes, we showed him what we got. And he goes, okay, let me look at this. And he pulls some numbers. He goes, here, you guys won AirPods. And I go, no, we didn't. The thing says $2,500. He goes, no, you have to run these numbers. I said, there's nothing on here that says you have to run those numbers. This says this number comes up and it gets $2,500. And we're walking out of here with AirPods. I said, and I looked at him. I said, this is a big old bait and switch. And we got up and walked out.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to look around the lot. No. And you will not get a review from me because I'm a real good, take a picture where I am and tag and review and
Yeah.
and
Shotgun review. Don't
Yeah.
use this
I,
TV. This is bait and switch.
Yeah.
I should have, but I was like, you know what?
That's why I'm glad I learned one thing I learned when going into places like that, either furniture, just be stone faced and
Yeah,
don't even smile
yeah,
and make them have to work to get me.
yeah. And Taylor goes, Mom, I'm sorry I did that. I'm like, you know what? It was a lesson. I said, I figured there was something about it because there was no way they were just going to hand us $2,500.
See,
Oh
I
yeah.
was figuring something like, well, yeah, we'll give you $2,500 off of one of those cars or greater value.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be $2,500 cash. Dad was hoping for the big truck. It was not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're getting your retirement truck. We're not there yet because you're not ready to retire
Mm.
yet. So stop looking.
Yeah. But I will tell you probably the hardest one I think to get people to get people off of, because these people have done such a great job at making us think that we can't live without it,
Yeah,
is credit cards.
yes, they're
That
geniuses.
Oh my goodness. I mean, and they just continue to get more and more and more aggressive.
Mhm.
I mean, where 14-year-olds are getting mail,
Yeah,
signing up for these things.
yeah.
Well, it's funny. So I was playing the game. I had 10 credit cards.
Oh,
All that I had no yearly or monthly, fees or anything like that.
Mhm.
And as long as you pay the balance off, you don't pay nothing for them. I had 9 cards. I had one small transaction every month, and it was paid off automatically. I had one card that I maxed out 3 times, and I paid it off every single time, every single month. My credit utilization was very low because I had all the available credit. Okay. When I was trying to close them out, paid them off, close them out, um, a lot of them would tell me, you don't want to close out. You're not paying no fees. Just keep it open. You're not paying nothing. It's not going to hurt you to keep it open. It doesn't cost you anything to keep it open. But if you close it, you won't be able to open it back up. I'm like, that's fine.
Thank goodness. Because I
you
got
don't
snort.
Yeah, I don't need you no
you
more.
you don't want to you're going to miss out on all those vacations, those airline miles.
Yeah, well, I never had nothing with airline miles. I always did the cash back.
Okay.
But,
Yep.
and that this guy that was helping me out, um, that was one of my biggest things. So, when you go through this class, it's a 9-week class. And I was like, this ain't for me. And no, this is for you. You better go to it. Second class, you're cutting up your credit cards. Oh, no, no, I'm not going to cut my cards up. You got the wrong person. Third day, I cut 9 of my 10 cards up.
Wow.
And one of my biggest beefs was the card that I told you I maxed out 3 times every single month and I paid off. That was a Citibank double cash back. On everything, no limits, I got a whole 2% cash back. 2%. And one guy was like, well, you can easily get rid of that. I had another card that gave me 5% only in certain categories. But this was 2% on anything. And he's like, so how much are you actually making? I'm making 2%. He's like, yeah, but how much is it? I make a lot of money. And I showed him, I was like, 1 month I made like $2,000. And he's like, how much did you spend to get that? And I didn't even want to look at that because it was only 2%. So the thing is the funny thing is, he's like, I can show you how you can make more money than that without doing that. Matter of fact, then he showed me a company that gives you cash back on a debit card. And he's like, if you had cash back on a debit card, would you do it? I was like, oh yeah. Would you get rid of that for that? Um, is it just as much? He's like, well, it's about half. You'll get 1% cash back on everything, no matter what, no limits. The first year, they'll double everything. So whatever you get cash back, they'll double it for the first year. But after that, it's just 1%. I was like, but I'm getting 2%. He's like, but you have to spend so much money. I finally caved in and was like, I don't need it.
Well, and think about this. Why are they so happy to give you 2% back?
Yep.
Because that is, you can pay it all off every month. Now that's assuming that life doesn't throw you big curveballs.
Yep.
Let's say 1 month that you're on that 70-mile drive to work and one guy decides that he's going to completely cut you off and you're not expecting it, and then you get injured in a car accident. All of a sudden you're out of work for a while. Something's got to give here.
Yep. And so all my credit cards were very high interest. I had a 758 credit score. They were all very high interest of. But they had no fees, all that kind of stuff. Just pay it off. You won't ever have to worry about anything. But if you don't, good luck getting out. And when you're in, like when you're under, it's hard to get back up because, like, you have to find the spot to get up, but it's hard to get back up because people want to keep pulling you further and further down. So as you try, they go back down even further. Just cut the cord.
Yeah.
Now thankfully I have no credit cards at all. I have 3
Amen.
debit cards. Well, actually, I have more than that because I have businesses. But personally, I have three debit cards. One is for bills and it's locked up. One, because of course you have to have a credit card for hotels and car rentals. So I have a debit card for that. And then I have a debit card for if I have to do an online transaction that requires a card that only has whatever I put on there and it's locked. You know. But other than that, cash is king, baby.
Yep.
Yep. There is.
And it's funny because I was down in Tennessee, right? Down in Tennessee, all the gas stations are the same whether you use credit or whether you use cash. Same price.
Oh.
Up here in Michigan, they charge you more if you pay at the pump. Now they want you to pay at the pump, but they charge you more.
Right.
So
Here too.
I'll actually go inside, give them a 50 or 100, fill it up, go back out, fill it, then come back in. I want my change. Because I don't know how much it's going to take, so
Wow.
I give you more than enough to make sure it's filled up.
Right.
I'll save that 10 cents to walk inside.
No kidding.
Yeah. No, I haven't been to Michigan in a while. I did that. That was, yeah, I did not know that.
Yep.
It's like that here in Missouri too.
Okay.
Cash is like 4 or 5 cents cheaper than credit.
Okay. Yep. Because I think now here in South Carolina, it's right around, I think it's pretty much even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Matt, what got you interested in coaching?
Well, I remember just kind of af as I was going through the class, and as I was seeing some progress in my in the debt snowball paying off our debt. I don't know. It's just I've always had kind of the teaching mindset, and
Hmm.
just I'm a very creative person. In that way, I have that creative kind of
Okay.
mind.
You did say you were a free spirit.
Well,
You did
I
say
tell
that.
people all the time. I have like MC, game show host, radio talk show, that kind of energy. So, I mean, I'm always looking to do that kind of thing, and I'm just like. And as I was sitting there, because I remember just laying in bed one night, and I said, "Mary, I don't think I'm cut out for a 9 to 5 the rest of my life. I just, and the more I was, and I told her, the more I was watching this class, the more I could see myself doing something like this, and whether it's to a big audience or whether just doing one on one, for right now, at least, I just want to engage and just help people, with this thing. Because I mean, look at what we did in 3 years. I mean, and how many people could learn from this?
Right.
And so that's when I found out about the coach training program. And I was like, that's what I need. And so yeah, I mean, I'm not, and again, it hasn't been an easy journey for 5 years, but at the same time, anytime I get a chance to talk to somebody, I'm always, handing them a card or, just letting them know what I do, and it just starting the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, and because of, my day job, I may not always be able to, hang there for 5 minutes, but I'm just like, hey, you know, if you like this conversation, schedule a time to talk with me further about it.
Hmm.
I gotta because yeah, I would love to get to know more and help you further.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you got a unique opportunity
Hmm.
because you see so many people
Mhm.
have some business cards. On the back have something quirky or something, just something to make them laugh or humorous. And on the front, have like a normal business card. And as you see people for 5 seconds, give them one.
Yeah.
Drop one in a package. Obviously don't cut
Mhm.
open the pack, but just,
Well, yeah.
you know, but give them to them in the packages, right?
I'm frowned upon.
Yeah, you don't want to open them up. But,
No.
giving it to them with the
All right.
packages or, stuff like that, it's the kind of avenue that you have is remarkable,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
I know I
I
started
just
I started that way too. I went through the class and it changed my life so much that I had to do it. So I became a coordinator, then I became,
yeah.
went through the class and became a coach and, kept going further. But it's phenomenal. So, but right now we are at halfway point or a little bit over. So
These nights go so
I
fast.
know. So first of all, we'd like
Yeah.
to mention our sponsor that we have right now. We have some things that's coming up that we're starting to transition to. So our sponsor right now is Master Marketing Masterminds, and this is a program that's going to accelerate your marketing, take you to new levels, and it's at a very um, economical, reasonable way to do it. So you definitely want to check it out. Matter of fact, the end of this month we have a promotion that's going. It's a Q&A that you can join in, and for anybody that joins a Q&A can actually go to the mastermind for free. So just saying you want to show up to that Q&A because you're going to see some power stuff. Now we're at the point where anybody that's in the YouTube, you pop a question and we will ask it live on the air. Now, a few episodes ago, we actually had a question that stumped our special guest. Now, today, our special guest
Let's do it
is,
again.
yes, today our special guest has been a coach for 5 years. So good luck stumping him. Okay, give it a shot. Let's see if we can do it for a second time. Now, we've been on the air for over a year. In
Hmm.
July, it was a year. and we've only had one time our special guest was stumped. Can we do it again?
Let's give it a shot.
So keep going with the flow. Um, I know when you first came to the whole thing and everything, you were in debt. How long did it take for you to get out?
It took me 3 years.
And did you have a
Yep.
coach?
No, we didn't. We just went through the class, and like I said, Mary and I just got aggressive and just kind of coached ourselves through it.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of used that old school, you know, grit and, fire of just, okay, we're gonna try this, and just, yeah, we rolled up our sleeves and got to work.
But I
Nice.
love how you keep saying Mary. Your wife is Mary because
That's my
Mary is
wife's
here
name.
too. We've got the money coach Mary RN. So I love the
Yeah.
first time you said Mary, I was like, huh? Then I realized it was your wife.
No,
I
that's
thought,
okay. Yes, I have a wife's name that's named Mary. So yeah,
yeah, the first time you said it too, I thought, wait a minute. So I thought that must be his wife.
yeah. So again, I'm sorry to add to that confusion there.
That's all right. It just makes my brain have to catch up.
What?
Just have to make my brain catch up. It's all right, Matt.
That's okay. That's okay. I have an ADD brain, so it operates at 90 miles an hour all the time.
Let me ask you a question. What does ADD stand for?
It's ADHD now, but it's attention deficit
I got
hyperactivity
another spin
disorder.
for it. Attention deficit. Hey, squirrel!
Yeah.
I actually have that as well.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's one of my favorite things because that's very very relevant to us.
Mhm.
We see
Hmm.
those squirrels all the time.
Oh yeah. And one thing I've learned about it though is just, yeah, I think growing up, I only saw the downsides of it, but as an adult now, I see now that, yeah, jobs might be hard for me, but as a business owner, I'm just like, man, I'm plugged in. I mean, because because we can handle that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yep. We get more done. You know,
Oh yeah.
we're workaholics. I mean, people tell me all the time, "Do you ever rest?" I might get 4, maybe if I'm lucky, 6 hours of sleep. 4 is usually, where I'm hoping I can get. I work the rest of the
Hmm.
time. I mean, my business hours are 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Mm.
That right there tells you I'm a workhorse. Not to
Oh
mention,
yeah.
even when I'm done, I'm still working.
I'll been there, brother.
A lot of times, and Mary knows this, a lot of times I'm working at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I wake up at 7 o'clock every single morning, I'm up.
Yeah,
So, you know,
That is interesting.
Have any questions, David?
so um, we have no live questions,
Okay.
but I'm kind of curious. So, I know it took 3 years to become debt free without a coach. Now, in
Hmm.
Ramsey, we had one that had 6 years and still was pretty much in the same boat. They got a coach, and a year later, they were debt free. If
Hmm.
you had a coach, how fast do you think you would have become debt free?
Wow.
Is that stump?
Probably no. I would probably say that would have cut it down to about a year and a half.
Mhm.
Just just mainly because I don't think I'd be white knuckling it so much, but I would be getting feedback from somebody that's seeing the situation from the outside, not connected to it, and they can see something that I don't see. And that's the purpose of a coach. Because
Correct.
they're here, they can see what you're going through down here, and they know how to to get you back up to get you up to them.
Absolutely.
And that's the key, you know. Now I'm going to spin it a little bit because you're a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do you spin it to your clients?
I spit it to my clients that once they get on a plan, once I show them how to set up their budget, once they start getting to work, then from there it's game on.
Mhm.
Cause well, um, give give me a second, cause again, um, because I want to make sure I say this right. Um, because as they're going along, if they're doing things that I know they're doing well, that they're if there's one thing that they're not doing, if they find that they're, I'm doing the thing, but I'm not getting anywhere. Okay, then I can look at it and say, okay, what are you doing here, 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 here,
Mhm.
here? Ah, there we go, right there. That's where, and just finding that tweak, whether it's okay, are you are you not putting enough are you not putting enough toward the principal on your student loans? Are you not working in, or is your job
Right.
not paying enough? Is your job not paying enough? Um, or are you eating out too much at restaurants? Are you doing, yeah. And without somebody to tell you that, and you're just kind of, because, and I guess I wish I had done this when I was, because I know husbands and wives like to say that they're built-in accountability partners, but even then, I would say even then, there are times when when they will justify or rationalize.
Mhm.
Well, see, and again, and I don't know if you both are Christians or not, but I know in our family we're Christians.
Mhm.
So, and the Christians love to Christianize everything, especially, and it never, usually that comes around at Christmas time when it comes to buying gifts for the family, because it's like we have to make, because after all, Jesus gave himself for us, so we need to be giving ourselves for everybody else, and for all of our family and friends. Yeah, but I don't think he would like the fact that you're completely, upending your own family to do so. 1 Timothy 5:8. But again, I digress. But no, just someone to kind of, call you out on those things. Because then it's just like, oh, I didn't know I was spending, $1,200 a month eating out at restaurants every month.
Yeah,
And
the
of
things you
course,
don't know.
That was
yeah,
actually what pulled me in, is because when I first did my first one, I found out I was spending more than $4,000 per month eating out.
wow.
So my
Mm,
question is, with what you just said, it kind of reminds me of a movie. Um,
mhm,
help me, help you.
Mhm.
Help
mhm.
me, help you. Show me the money. You
Yeah.
know, and that's the biggest key. I love Gatorade did it very good, and Gatorade's commercial is great for us because it's
Mm,
exactly it. You know, they had this one commercial where athletes were becoming successful, and
mm.
not a single
Yeah.
one was successful without mistakes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Michael Jordan, how many baskets did he miss?
Let's see. He took 946 game-winning shots. He only made 137 of them.
Whew.
And that's only what you
Sorry.
know about. He missed more baskets than what anybody knows about, and they don't tell you about those.
We don't talk about
No,
that.
But they'll tell
no.
you about all the wins.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't care about what you fail in. They only
Mhm.
celebrate your successes. However, your failures help you to succeed,
Yeah.
because I can put you into a place right now, but you don't have the experience, you don't have the knowledge, and you're not going to stay there.
Right.
But if you earn that position, nobody can take it from you because you've earned it. You failed. You know what it takes, and you're there because you earned it. You weren't just put
Yep.
there. And that's where the biggest key is, you know?
Hmm.
So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and that's why I go back to what I was telling, parents about, letting your kids make mistakes. Sarah Blakely, who founded the Spanx brand of, women's clothing there, her dad would ask her on a regular basis, "What have you failed at this week?"
Mhm.
I mean, what parent says that to their kid now?
Right.
Hmm.
And I'm
Because
just like,
everybody wins, everybody gets the ribbon, everybody gets the trophy.
mm-hmm, yep. But that was the thing with me is just, and I think to me that's what makes victory a lot sweeter for me is because even though I work hard at something, even with something I love and I failed at it, it makes it to where when I do, when I won, whether it was in singing because in music there's competitions everywhere, and I've struck out numbers of times. But there were I did have those moments when I did win and I, won and I was just like, and it was just it was so satisfying, not because of because of the win, but just the transformation in me, the effort and just that persistence over time. It just made it that sweeter and it made winning a joy.
Yeah. Because you're failing forward.
Yes.
You're not falling back. You're stepping forward and leaving that failure in the past, in the rearview mirror, knowing what you don't want to do again.
Yeah.
I like to think of it
Which
this
is
way.
why the
When you step backwards, you fall and there's no help. But when you're falling, a lot of times you're trying to catch yourself and you're moving forward. And then when you gain up, you're actually several
Mhm.
steps further.
hmm
So when you're failing forward, you're actually moving forward. When you fail backwards, you fall back and you need help getting back up. And for us, wiser people, we don't necessarily get up when we go down.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we could fall down and get right back up, and it's a laughter. Now it's like, help me.
hmm Oh, I think about, man, you made me think about when I taught my son how to ride a bike. Well, I no, I think my wife did a little bit more than I did. But the thing I was constantly telling him it was just, John, don't be afraid of falling. Just get back up, keep trying. The more you fall, you'll learn that one thing to keep you from falling. You'll learn, okay, don't do this, get better, just learning how to, feel the balance. And I
Mhm.
think the second or third day he practiced,
Mhm.
it clicked and he finally got it.
Yeah,
But
that's
if he hadn't have gotten up and kept
mhm.
and worked on that, it wouldn't have happened.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's power. Well, Mary, do you have any good questions?
What is your favorite part about coaching?
Seeing the light bulb turn on in their minds. And I know I can't actually see it, but
Right. You
but
can.
when I
We
but
see
when
it.
A
oh yeah,
bald head, you could see it. No.
Right.
I didn't want to say anything, but no. Uh, no, it's okay. But no, really, that's the thing that does it for me. It's just when they're presented with that new information or a new perspective or a perspective shift, and it was just like, oh,
Oh.
and then they plug away and they run with it, and then it's just like, or I get that phone call. It's like, Matt, you're not going to believe this. I just paid off like $2,000 on this month. And I'm like, really? Like that? Yeah. And
Absolutely.
And you'd be surprised that, when you're again, because I'm not attached to that situation,
Mhm.
but just looking in and you just give them that little bit of a tweak in their
Yeah.
perspective,
Yeah.
and it's surprising how far they can run.
I had a client call me one time and they're like, I just had to call and tell you, I'm like, what's going on? Well, I was talking to my daughter and she was wanting to get a car loan and she's had several cars repossessed and she goes, doggone it if I didn't open my mouth and you came out. I'm like, okay. So that kind of stuff is what makes you feel good. Like you say your client
Mhm.
calls and say, look at what I paid off. These are the huge things that it makes us as coaches know we're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it may not necessarily be $2,000 in 1 month. It may just be
Right,
they paid off 100. They may have paid off, $100 on a credit card that
right,
one day.
yeah,
But I look at that as that's $100 that goes to you
mhm,
now.
right.
That's not $100 that goes to Mastercard or to
Hmm.
Citibank or Chase. That
Hmm.
goes to you.
To start
And
off
that to
with,
me
it
is,
still goes to the bank because you just take that and put it to bigger to knock out the next one faster.
yeah. But that's how I look at it is more, more money that, once that debt is paid off, that money that was going to debt
Hmm.
now goes to you.
Right.
And now you have options. What did you really want to do with your, and this is why I think Americans have such a hard time dreaming again
Mhm.
because they think that real life is, oh, you're going to be strapped with debt. Oh,
Yeah,
you're going to, you
absolutely.
don't have, that's not, and I have to catch myself when I get, when I start going into, if I ever go into that, and my wife has to snap me out of it sometimes. It's like, oh, are we ever going to get out of,
Hmm.
and you just have to, Matt, honey, we're going to get the house. Don't worry. We're going to get that car. Don't worry. We're going to be able to just, you know, yes, it does require patience. I mean, it's not going to happen it doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you know, it's like those small consistent habits beat those big
Hmm.
giant intense
Yeah.
bursts. You know, that's why I love,
Correct.
one health and fitness expert that my wife follows, Dr. Blake Livingood. He says it all the time. Consistent 10 minutes of a workout every day beats those intense,
Yes.
you know, hoorah, hoorah workouts that you see these bodybuilders doing.
Right.
Marines.
Yeah.
So another question I have for you that you kind of brought it up for me. Um, do you have a paid off house yet?
I'm currently renting.
Oh,
We are
okay.
working. That is our next goal is we're saving to buy our first house.
Nice.
When you do, go outside barefoot and see if the grass
Mhm.
feels any different.
Oh, I can't wait for that moment.
I actually did it, and I actually told this guy, I was like, it hurts. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, it hurts. Because I lived out in the country, so I had a rocky grass.
Oh,
And so when I actually told him, he's like, only you, only you.
yeah.
I've done it and it does feel different.
Yep. It's just something different when it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Because nobody can take it away from you.
No,
Yep.
everything else can crumble around you, but that can never go
Mhm.
away.
Yep.
Hmm. I I will say one thing though. There was one time when it felt weird. I remember we were getting ready to go on vacation, and I was making I had a yeah, I did an oil change, and I had a little extra repair to make on my car, and it was going to be around $600 for the repair. But we had the
Mhm.
money set aside, and I remember handing my debit card to him, and I'm just sitting there like, this feels weird. Why am I not panicking right now? And then I'm like, oh, I actually have the money. I don't have to feel stressed about this.
You know, yeah, that's
Right.
powerful.
And
Beautiful
that's,
feeling.
yeah. And that's the thing is that I tell my clients is that they can feel that as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And don't be afraid of that weird feeling, because that's reward. That's the reward of working, the benefit of working hard.
Right.
Well, we are at that magical time. So, first of all, we just like to say that we have a community for all coaches. It's a complete free community for you to join, enjoy. On Fridays, we have a coaches connection where coaches can get together and just chill, just talk, get things off their
Mhm.
chest. And there's no money involved in that. It's really nice. We also like to mention, you know, we have these masterminds that's coming in that you really want to become a part of because it's going to change your life like you won't believe.
Absolutely.
And matter of fact, we kicked off the first actual episode for the mastermind session was actually today.
Mhm.
Funny thing is, today was the first day. Now, there's a lot of stuff already in there from stuff we've been doing,
Mhm.
but it was phenomenal for the first actual day, first official day of the marketing mastermind. So all the links are below for you to check out, and we definitely want you to check it out. And then another thing we'd like to mention is we are doing a lot of work with these podcasts. We want your feedback. Let us know what you would like to see. We do have some great plans, some things that we're going to be doing, but we want
Mhm.
your feedback. So please, in the comments below, let us know your feedbacks. What would you like to see? What would you like us to talk about? And more than ever, please like this video, share with your friends,
Mhm.
subscribe so that you know when we
Subscribe.
are having them. And it's every Wednesday at the same time. And make sure you come because you don't want to miss these. We actually ask questions live. You can
Mhm.
make your comments. Now, we are
Mhm.
trying to grow so that we can do a different kind of podcast in addition to this. So make sure you subscribe so that you can get the updates and see what's going on and you can be a part of this great move. We also like to bring Matt up. Matt, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, if you have any questions, feel free to respond to this podcast. And yeah, I thank you very much for having me on today. I
All right.
can't thank you enough.
You were delightful.
Yes. Thank you for
Well,
being
thank
here.
you.
And if you guys want to reach Matt, his link is in the below in the description. So make sure you reach out
Mhm.
to him as well. Mary, did you have any final words?
Just do the dang thing.
You heard Mary.
I speak of the truth.